That is right. Hashtag Dirty South is correct on this glorious July 4th weekend and a little rivalry baseball weekend. Welcome to you from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Uh, yeah, so just as you can see, change things around a little bit. Got me a work area over there where I set up my laptop and my over so I can do over down videos. It all makes sense. Don't read anything into any of those figures. We got Sandler fan. Don't know the road to the Nationals like planes, trains, and automobiles. That's what we're gonna get. That's not a pillow. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, working on it. I want to get a little bit more lighting. I do like the fact I don't have an overhead light, but now I have to be more. I was taking pictures yesterday and today for eBay. Having a little struggles with that, but I think I figured it out in the last. I did 30 cards this weekend. I think the last five or six finally started coming out correctly the way I wanted to. Um, I got a notification for Bowman going live. Good luck to him tonight. Hope he is doing well on the on that side of the world. I know. I don't know if the Phillies won today or not. I know my Mets did. So if the Phillies won, I think that puts them a half game or a full game up on New York, if I remember correctly, or a game and a half. Game and a half, I think. So yeah, a lot of little changes in Major League Baseball this week. We thought it was teams were running away. Now the Yankees are in second, behind Toronto. Uh, a little shake up here and there. Me and my dad talking today. The Phillies did win. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, the Rays having a great turnout at their that stadium. I really hope Major League Baseball learned something from this. That not always the biggest, greatest. You don't have to have you know a park inside of a park. You don't need rides and all this extra stuff. You don't need all the glam and glitz. We don't need fish tanks and stingrays swimming out in center field. We need good baseball. We need stadiums to play those in. And I think one that is family friendly as Tampa's is a good way to go. I mean, you have to weigh your options out. It's cheaper. Let people bring, their blankets out and make picnics and all that stuff. I wish NASCAR learned a similar. NASCAR shot themselves in the foot by forgetting where their home base was, uh, giving into northern and uh, outside the South. You closing up your they were biting the hand that fed them. You're going to close up southern racetracks and let's go race out in the desert. Didn't make much sense. NASCAR really, and also having a 10 race playoff during the NFL season. That makes absolutely no sense. Let's make the most important part of our season during football season. That doesn't. You don't want to compete against NFL. Oh man, here we go. We got the OG in the house.
What's up?
Not much, man. How we doing tonight, Dave?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
All right, we're on the boat to the National, so I hope you're not
Oh,
don't get
all right.
seasick. There you go.
That's-
Woo-hoo! I didn't know you got that last year. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's that year or the year before. I don't remember which one
Uh,
it was. I think it was last year.
Thank you, Brian. Uh, yeah, and I mean, I'm glad I got a lot of responses in yesterday's video because I was very serious. I know Bobbles kind of did his farewell round tripper today video for. I watched some of it. Um, I don't agree with all of it, but for whatever reason, I mean, I understand not doing it when it's not profitable for anybody doing it, including, when it's too expensive, you could just do it yourself. It just doesn't make sense. What's up, Joe? Evening, guys. Wish I was on the boat with you guys this year. Yeah, thanks, Joe, for your text message. I knew that. Sorry if people were wondering why I did a lot. I went live early this afternoon, trying to make sure my laptop was working. That's right there. I've had it in a bag in my backpack for a while. But I wanted to make sure 2 reasons. So when I do a video Wednesday, I know it's working correctly. Got my StreamYard up on that. And the second was my plans at the National. So, and that more to come on that later at a later date. The second bit of things to tackle is yesterday. People might have saw I came on live yesterday and was flipping over going, what the hell is Scott doing? I was playing a video game, making sure my streaming was working, just fooling around with that. So if I wasn't really talking or anything, just making sure everything's working with my new setup. And that's some things that's coming probably in the future. Coordination with Nerdy Thursday, a little game streaming here and there to show off some games. And the Cubs lineup, man, they're really coming alive. I mean, I was wondering why the Mets Yankees were not on tonight, but now I see Cubs Cardinals, which is a big rivalry series. And I think they're showing after this one another game. But how are you doing, Dave? How you been, man? Long time to see.
I know, doing all right. Busy.
Well, that's not a bad
thing. Work, busy with kids, and
yeah. Now y'all doing y'all's yearly trip?
We already did it.
We already did it.
Yeah, we went to South Padre.
I didn't see any Facebook pictures or anything. What?
Oh, I don't post nothing on there. My wife does. There's plenty of those.
I know, but usually she'll make it where your name's in it, so I get to see it. Yeah. I saw you're a little tan, but you're down in Texas. I mean, it's not like you don't get sun down there. So I was just wondering.
Yeah, I've had a couple pool days too, so it's
Yeah, I bet. So this is 4 Sundays away from the week. 3 full weeks. I don't know when I got to work 3 full weeks before I go on vacation for the National. Do you work like Monday or?
Yeah, so normally I take off the week of National and take off Monday and Tuesday before we go, but my shitty company decided that we don't get as many vacation days as I normally would, so I have to.
How does that work? They took away vacation days this year?
Well, like we sold to a franchise a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
I guess they decided that their rules are different, and I'm a brand new employee, so they put everybody in my position down. Like we lost like 2 weeks.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Damn. So I went from like 7 weeks vacation or 6 weeks vacation with corporate to down to 4.
Okay. I don't feel that bad.
No, now it's 2. So I have.
All you get is 2 weeks for the whole year.
Yeah.
I know what position you're in.
Yeah.
A 4 would. I mean, I get 5, and I'm just.
It's pretty shitty. But my work weeks are weird. They're like Thursday through Wednesdays, so I can manipulate that until like 4 weeks. It's not taking 7 days off in a row.
I got you.
I'll work. I can work up through Monday, take Tuesday, Wednesday off, and then take a couple days off, and then a couple vacation days, and I'm at 6 days off in a row. And then my boss is kind of cool with me, like not putting in as many vacation days as I'm taking.
Right.
So.
Make it do. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I'll jump on my laptop in the middle of vacation and go, it's a work day, even though I worked like 5 minutes.
I got you. Yeah. My work works me all over the place. I mean, it's supposed to be Monday through Friday, 8 hours, but so I can, if I work over here and there, I kind of save it up and then leave early on Friday and still have overtime. So that's what I did this past week, to leave early on a Thursday. So I got a little bit nice 3.25 work day weekend.
work that overtime to get some extra funds for the
I
show?
wanted to. They came to me and they were like, "Hey, we're going to need some overtime this weekend. You want any if it gets to you?" And I say 1 day, and then I was like, "Damn, I should just say 2." But then they came back and said, "Oh, we don't need you. We only need these two. 2 people are already working. Didn't get to me." So
Yeah, a couple
it
of
is. It
time
is.
gets you a big card at the national.
Well, it depends on what I see. I don't know. I'm in limbo this year, and I've talked about it before a little bit for the national. I don't know. I went into the Philly show with an idea and a thought, and that went out the window in 4 hours, 3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
gone. Um, but I still had fun. Had probably one of the most fun I've had at a card show probably since the year after COVID, that national. So I've had great nationals, but if I have to rank, if you make me rank them, I will. But anyway, uh, so that was a lot of fun, and I don't know if I really want to go in there thinking I'm going to get one big card or if I have to get a bunch of small little ones. I don't know. Whatever comes to mind.
Well, that's how I always do it. No plan.
Yeah, I am going to take my time again, like I did the last 2 years, and because like I said, I narrowed what I collect, but it's not so narrow where, oh my god, if that car is gone, if somebody buys that, I'll never see it again. Which I don't know who collects anything like that. If we could see you're the rarest card, we could probably see it on 10 or 12 different tables at the national,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Mike looks after that pre-war crazy stuff, but I mean, he finds it all the time. So he's not what he's looking for is pretty rare, but it's not so rare where you can't find it. It's just rarer than other stuff. So it's just all on how you defining it that day, what rare means. Uh, let's see. With how expensive a lot of these hobbies that revolve around collecting have become, we are forced to be very dynamic. At least I felt I need to be. That Santa Fe, and that's what I wanted to get into. I watched something I've talked about before, man, and I was trying to find a video. I know. Well, one thing that drives me crazy is why people listen to the. Why does one person have 2,000 followers or subscribers, however you want to call it, and then me at 683 when I talked about this same subject 4 or 5 years ago, and I was looking for the videos tonight to kind of have receipts on it, and not saying I'm a know-it-all and all that, but my whole thing is like I've been talking about breakers and the reason why the box prices have been going up for 5 years now, 6 years. And I was like yelling into the ethos. No, it's not the breaker's fault. I never said it's the breaker's fault 100%. But when 75% or 70% of the cards that are being sold go to breakers, it's a large part of it. And the prices went up because the rest of it had to be divvied up between the rest of everybody. And if you notice the high end product, you just don't see boxes of anymore. You might see it that first week it comes out, but it's scooped up really quick. And
who can afford to buy it?
That's exactly right.
They're built for breakers. That's what it is.
Now it is, yeah.
Because they split it. I mean, obviously, as a collector, like I can't afford to open anything high end or even I can't even afford like low end stuff anymore. Because you don't get shit out of it. But like, if there was no breakers, the stuff wouldn't be that expensive because they're guaranteed buyers,
right?
And they have to buy it. And they'll make the money because they just split the.
Yeah, they just don't care how much the cost is. You can sell it to them for whatever, they're going to buy it. But because I knew this firsthand by talking to card shop owners, multiple of them, and they can go out and they'll make a purchase and go and they're purchasing it from their distributor at the time. before Fanatics took it over, and you knew this was coming too. But so when the distributors had it, oh, I got 25 cases coming at, say flagship. 25 cases come in at $900 a case. Then they'll get a phone call saying, oh, only have 5 of those cases at that price. The rest of them got allocated somewhere else. So they get what they get, and then a day before they get them, they go, oh, we got 15 more, but now they're $2,000 a case. And this has happened. I know this. I'm not making this up. So I've talked to two different shop owners in Iowa when I lived there that this happened to. And not only, oh, we'll sell you that, but now you also have to buy Disney or Pokemon when nobody gave a shit about Pokemon or something like that, where nobody cared about it to buy it. And they got blackmailed into buying stuff they didn't want. And all of that happened. Now Fanatics is pretty much doing the same thing, but they just took out the middleman and just jacked the price right up to begin with. What's up, Paul? How you doing tonight? Wax brakes are priced through the roof because a large majority of this hobby doesn't know shit and buys into them thinking it's somehow an investment or worth it. But I can tell you, Paul, even when I was doing this back in the day, because I could still get in affordable brakes. And I still think braking, if you're smart about it, getting into brakes and don't know what price, know the checklist you're getting into, make sure you know. So like I'm going to buy Mets. I'm going to get into a brake where I can get the Mets. I'm not going to get into a random or nothing like that. I just want Mets. And I know who's in the checklist. I know who the autographs are. I know what the autographs are, who's on card, who's stickers. You want to do your due diligence to know who they are and set yourself at a price and stick with it. And if it goes like that price, so be it. I know it's tough to do. I mean, we live in this age of, you gotta have the, excuse my language, biggest dick in the room. And I think that's what a lot of this car community's gone to. I don't think it's, and I was watching Victor before his video today, and it was how the cards, people collecting and everything has gone to more of a, clubhouse type of hobby. And I don't agree with that, but do you have any thoughts on any of that, David?
I don't know, but I think there's a lot of people just talking about, it's obviously talking about like the vintage versus the modern. And I think, I don't know if it's gone that way in the hobby. I think most people collect like we do. They may want to watch, because vintage cards are cool. Like, I've been to my BBC's house. I've seen all the stuff. It's cool to get some of those cards. Yeah. But I can't afford most of those stuff. And then some of the stuff I don't even want to collect that he has.
Right.
I want a rookie card. I'm a rookie guy. I don't really care about, a 10th year, even a 10th year Mickey Mantle. I don't care if I own it. Even I'm a Yankee fan and collect Yankees. I'm not going to chase that card. I mean, they're cool to look at. And I think that's where you get YouTube, where everybody's showing these cards. And they're kind of cool to watch other people's really nice collections.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think most people collect like we do. And then, and people on YouTube, you're going to find friends on here. And that's where I think there's a lot of guys that have the same interest, collect the vintage. They've all became friends. They meet up at the National, kind of the same way we do. We just don't collect what they collect, but we're all the same people. We all hang out at the same party. We all drink beer together. It doesn't, there's no a vintage YouTube community get together and then
it's going to be one this year.
No, not when I crash it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like not like this year? Like who's?
Oh, they're going to have a vintage trade night like they did at.
Yeah, but it's a trade night. But It's
Yeah,
like,
that's gonna be more of a hangout than a trade. It's gonna be just like all of us.
And I'm pretty sure if I show up there and go, I'm not
I
collecting
think
anything
it's
in
the
this
same
room. You're
night.
gonna
I
kick
think
me out.
that's what the hangout, our hangout usually is what it's going to turn into this year. You know what I'm saying? Thursday night.
What is a bunch of vintage guys?
I
Or
think it's gonna. Well, it's already a bunch of vintage guys, but
Oh,
I think it's gonna turn into that. So I don't really care. I mean, I like to look at the cards. I'd walk around as long as they let me, finger some of the cards. I'm good. Let me mess with them, look at them. And if it's something, and if it's like a few that I'm looking for at the show, let's talk. So Paul says some no hype rookie team on a break is fine. You're not paying a super premium, but it's supposed to morph into gambling over the young high player. Yeah, Paul, I agree, but that's when you have to do your due diligence and look and go. I'm not even with the new hot player. I'm not paying into that. I'm not doing it. Oh, it's Saturday. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate you, brother. Rick. So Saturday night, which a lot of people's already gone that night. That's usually the dead night too. Saturday's when we just everybody's kind of trying to depress a little bit. Just kind of take the shoes off and
my last day of being sore,
Yeah. Thursday's the general YouTuber get together. I think that Mike hosts. Yeah, it's Saturday. It is. I've gone, I think, since the first incarnation of that with him and Eric. I think that's one of the things I could say I was there the first time.
I think I started it before it was called a get together.
Yeah, y'all did it, and I was upstairs. I was there. I just wasn't there at the convention center. Oh, it is at the convention center, Rick. Okay, so I know the other trade night is there Thursday, Friday, Saturday night as well. What are they going to just take over a section or? I saw the flyer for it or whatever, and I just kind of looked at it, and I was like, somebody will tell me where it's going to be.
I wonder if Lowe's is going to turn into a.
Well, in years past, I'm on a boat. We got Mr. Westergrove. That's supposed to be me and him on the boat singing. I'm on a boat. I'm effing boat, yo. What's up, Ed?
You've been boarded.
So here we are, 4 Sundays out. Have any of y'all started thinking about anything of the National? What you're collecting, what you're taking, if you're going to do any YouTubing, if you're any prep work going into anything that you're doing? Because I made a comment yesterday. As many YouTubers go to this thing, there's not a lot of collabs. There's not as many videos as you think would come out of it. You got videos about it, not as many coming out from it, right?
I've been pretty awful about taking pictures and video at the National. Maybe I do a recap here and there, but I usually just do my recaps either that night or when I get back, and then I just.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for the.
I'll probably be in a lot of people's videos though.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, you're getting a hug from me for the info tonight. That's my filming this thing's Friday night is 1 mile away from John Wayne Gacy's house. Don't ask me how I know that. Well, is Mike being part of that this year again?
I'm not Mike sure. Usually he does though.
Yeah, Mike has been so busy with everything. I haven't talked to him like as in a chat, other than what we talk on our group chat. But Ed, have you done anything? Have you sat down, made a list, checked it twice?
Scott, I never go into a card show with a plan. Never.
No.
Well, freestyle.
That is a plan.
I have, because every year, usually I always talk about this. I save as much money as I can. I kind of see where I'm at, in March and then kind of early June, and then depending on what I have saved is kind of what I if I know what kind of bigger card I'm going to buy, or if I'm not buying any big cards at all. So it's like this year I have I guess like a couple years ago when I bought the Mantle and the Griffey. Obviously, I came in, I had a whole lot of extra money, and I was going to I was planning on buying either one of the Mantle or the Griffey, and I had my normal money for the National. So I always have a set limit what I have to have, and then anything else kind of makes me decide if I'm buying something a bigger autograph or some of that or a bigger card. You know, not like I'm not buying like a $10,000 or $1,000 card. I'm buying something a couple $100. So that's like the only plan I ever make is usually depending on what kind of money I have, and then I always say I'm going to dig through boxes, and then I never do because it's too packed in there to do that.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's digging through boxes. That's late in the day. If you can get there early, you can get a spot. You can get there, do pretty well. But if you get there, it's a later in the day, later in the week type of process. Box digging is the later you go, the you're gonna miss out on. But if you don't know it's there, are you really missing out?
Sometimes I do just to waste some time and not buy stuff.
Right.
Even or not buy nothing that's gonna.
Wait a minute. We're not gambling. Nobody's gonna bring you a drink. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Box digging has kind of gone by the wayside the last couple of years at the National. I feel like the singles club. Yeah. Well, for me personally.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about my own personal experience.
All right. Yeah.
I have noticed the singles club usually gets bought out though by either Thursday or Friday.
Day zero last year. Day zero.
Yeah, last year was like what, Wednesday night.
I don't even think they were there Wednesday night. I think went to go find it because there wasn't a lot of people there, and I was like, "Oh, let me go see if I can find it," and it was already gone. It was already emptied out. The sign was there, but they were gone. I'm pretty sure that was Wednesday night.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, let me go dig early," and I think it was already gone.
There are very, very, very good value boxes at the National. That's always been like one of the great things about the National.
Yeah, that's usually where I find a bunch of relics and stuff.
You can find a lot of gold in there, but I feel like over the last couple of years, those boxes, you got to be like in that building right when the doors open, know where to go.
I feel like at a show like that, a lot of people put their shit in there, knowing that people are going to just buy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to find like it is going to be at another show. But I have to, because a lot of my cards I'm looking for, you're looking for 90s, early 2000 players. That's where they're going to be at, right? They're not going to, in any show, they're not going to be graded, in the $1,000 case, and they're not going to be, showcased anywhere else. So,
I also feel like dealers pre-show are buying dealers' boxes, value boxes, wholesale bulking it. That's definitely going on.
I'm sure. But like for me, I sat here, today when I had you come on there to make sure all my stuff was working correctly. I want to take my laptop and do some stuff at the get-togethers. Try to do some different things, but I don't have 1,000 viewers. I can't get on live, strictly straight on YouTube. So I have to do some go arounds to go live in remote, which I got figured out. I mean, it's just having StreamYard is my workaround for that. So when you have StreamYard, it doesn't recognize where you're doing it from. So that's the nice part. If you're somebody like me you want to go live and you don't have 1,000, just get StreamYard on your phone and go through StreamYard, and that's a good workaround for going live.
Yeah, and that'd be pretty good if you do that. Like just sit down at a table and just keep having different people come sit with you next to you and just talking.
Well, I don't want to speak on it too much because a floating head will probably have it going on, and I won't be able to do it. So. So my plan is to set up at the get-togethers and just have people stop by, talk, and invite people on that's not at the show to ask questions, you know, and make people at home feel like they're part of the get-togethers. If I can help in any way where people can't get there, the hitmans and people like that, Carlos, and the people that really want to be there, like Carlos, and you know. But if I can do any bit, hi. if I can do anything like that, I think that'd be pretty cool. Um, I think also if they're gonna make a Breakers Row, why don't they have a YouTube row? I've never understood that. When you go to any type of anime convention or any other type of collectors convention, if there's a YouTube community, which I don't know one that's not, they invite YouTubers there. They pay them to be there, actually.
Yeah, but they're big time, a lot of those people.
Well, you're going to tell me we don't have it? I mean, Jesus, BBC just got 10,000 viewers. That ain't nothing to sniff at. I mean, that's right. I mean, like, and then I know like Jeff Olson's going to be there with his people and Ryan, but they're there for selling stuff, not being there as, I don't know. I just think it's a missed opportunity to add another dimension. It is big time.
I'm definitely not big time, but little time.
Ed just got to suit up again, and you might be.
That's right. But I'm just saying, they don't have to have I mean, come on. What's the use of having breakers there? They're useless.
I mean, we've been saying this for years, but they're just going to continue doing it because they bring money in.
How does it bring money into the convention, though?
Because they do breaks live in those pavilions.
Yes, but you have to be online to do it.
I'm sure they're doing it on their apps and stuff, walking around.
Okay. Well, you can do that. You don't have to be.
I think didn't last year they do like a 24-hour break-in thing?
I don't know.
It was something like that.
They were doing breaks like all night long or after the show.
But it has not necessarily have anything to do with the show.
Well, they're probably just there for them to get more people to join into the breaks or learn about them that don't usually know, don't do it.
I guess. I don't know. It just seems like to me, it's just, I mean.
Yeah, but they're buying all these cases and cases.
I mean, that's just.
Where do you think they're buying the cases from all the distributors that are at the show? And then
they get them from Fanatics. They already bought half. Yeah. I just said they just got 70% of it. They bring in their own cases. Have you never seen their stockpile where they're sitting at?
I've seen last year and a couple years before, just huge wheelbarrows of cases going around the showroom floor. Yeah,
huge pallets that they bring in, and then they refill it, stock up those pallets every night.
Yeah, Dave and Adams in Steel City, I know last year they were having a lot of that stuff.
Well, I tell you, last year was bad for the Dave and Adams and all that. They were just there. After the first or second day, they were just there. They didn't have any more product. They were just kind of hanging out, unless you wanted like Hit Parade or.
And who do you think bought all that stuff?
But it's not them. I think it's, first off, the first night we went in there and Mike O had to do all of his wheeling and dealing in his LLC. There wasn't much product there. I made a note of that when I first got there. There was not much product, period. The first night we were there, Wednesday. And I just feel like these types of change, because I don't think there's as much product for them to get anymore. I think they're the ones buying a lot of it off of the secondary market. Why do you think they're coming in there and sending out a sales sheet telling you how much they're going to buy it for? Because those companies are not getting it the people that are getting the product are the breakers.
Yeah, breakers are probably paying way more money for them.
Yeah, the breakers are paying premium because they don't care. They're going to make their money back. They don't give a shit because they can charge whatever, and especially the ones that do player breaks. Holy shit, they're making. They can start off the player break at $5. The $5, for player, and it's some no-name player, and they'll probably get 10 to 15, but they'll have the bigger ones. They're 50, 65. I know it's still hard for me to get a Pete Alonso break. It's almost impossible because I'm not paying a ransom for some guy that's been in the league now going on 10 years, and I'm not going to pay more than what his rookie card is to get to a break. That's just dumb.
Well, at that point, you might as well just buy the autograph.
Right, buy the cards that I want, and that's what I do. That's what I do because all these people talking about it being gambling stuff, none of that has changed. I don't know why that's being thrown around now as a bad term. We've always, as long as packs have been packs, that's been gambling, right? I mean, I don't, just because you're paying more makes it gambling than $2 a pack. I don't, or it's more than you're comfortable of paying a break. I'm asking you, Paul, because you brought it up a minute ago. I don't understand why now it's gambling, but 10 years ago it wasn't gambling.
No, it was 10 years ago. It was gambling.
It was still gambling.
I mean, it's always been gambling.
Right.
And
I've always said this. The difference between gambling and what we do is when you gamble, you might just go home with tears. Where in this, you're at least getting cards. It knows. It's a gambler. He won this week. Who did you bet on, Ed?
Nastasha Howard for
there you go.
Commissioner's Cup MVP.
Right.
Plus 10,000, baby.
Yeah. So we know who's getting the big chicken the first night. It got a bad name when 98% of the PAX boxes had no chance to make you money back. It used to be like 70 to 80. Paul, I remember being a little kid sitting in the floor, opening up rack packs, and my dad going, "Are you getting anything? Is it worth it? Is it just like?" And the rack packs then were what, $2, $3, and I remember my dad saying, "Are you even getting anything for your money?" For me, entertainment, looking at baseball cards is what I was getting. I didn't know I was supposed to be getting back. I didn't know I was supposed to be making that next house payment with open up rack packs. But I remember my dad as a little kid asking me that, and I just feel like it's always been gambling, but you get cards back. It might not be the cards you want, but you get something in return. And speaking of that, I did open up a box before Game 1. I bought a couple of these All-Star Game boxes for let me see. I learned this with Carlos the other night. Let's see if I can do it here. There we go. So it's the All-Star Game, like I forget what they call it, something box, and the type of cards that come in it, they all look like this. This is the base card. So they're pretty cool. And these are the inserts, All-Star Greats. So got some cool stuff in it. They do have color. I did get 1 or 2 colors. I thought it was pretty interesting. It's like $50 for it. And I got.
Was it a good gamble or a bad gamble?
I thought it was entertaining. And anytime. So every card to this. So this would be considered to Fanatics and MLB a variation to the flagship. It is flagship cards, but it's a variant to the flagship, right? So I can sit there and every one, they did not print as many as these of this stuff. It's only in one way that you get it. It's that type of box. And so these are the type of things that I look for. Now, is it a great thing? No. But did I get in it? I was entertained, and I got color, I didn't get blown out by buying a hobby box or something. That's what I said about the eggs, the Easter eggs. I thought they were big gimmicks. I opened one up and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of color in here. There's variants. It's a variant to the flagship, and I like that's the one thing I like about Fanatics is maybe they've cut back on the type of cards they're doing, but what they are doing is making different variants and chases, and that's the thing they do know how to do as a company. Uh, so I don't know if it's to get 10,000 more money, 10 times their money, but I did have fun. I did get a couple of cool rookie cards out of it. Dylan Cruz and Woods.
As long as you get some that you want to keep. Like
Yeah,
I buy the lower end stuff because I could at least get some binder cards.
And I'll tell you, I think it's 60 cards or whatever. So I'll put the rest on Sport Lots and probably make $30, $25. Got some of the money back, and then the rest is entertainment value. That's my whole thing with cards. Is cards should be as a hobby. Your hobby is supposed to be an entertainment, not a job. So to sit there and talk about money all the time, doesn't that take the hobby part out of it? Like, there's got to be some entertainment. You wouldn't go to the movies and go, how do I make money back from going to that movie?
Yes, it is. I mean, we always talk about this. That's why I don't buy boxes because every once in a while I'll open one because they're fun to rip. But for the most part, I buy singles, and I want stuff that I'm going to collect. It's not. I'm not gambling money away. Right. I'm actually purchasing something that's going to be part of my collection. When you talk about, I collect this because of the value, you're not really collecting it. You're just investing in it, or
right,
either gambling to try to hit it. But you're not really. It's not part of a collection. You're not purchasing like. I buy a video game. I want to play the game. I'm buying that, not for.
Yeah.
It might go. I'm hoping to get the good variant in this video game. So I'm always.
Yeah, but most video games, they depreciate as soon as you open it, and then. There's gonna be some that are short printed or whatever that was. But I mean, you can just, for instance, because I'm in the video right now, Switch 2 is not doing very well, but that's because they thought they could just make it and buy it. Well, that's not the case. You got to have something that makes people want to buy it, especially right now with what's going on in the world. Everybody's a little nervous right now, a little scared with their money. So you got to make it worth their while to do it.
That's why.
Go ahead, Ed.
When all that addiction talk was going on, and make no bones about it, there is an addiction component in that whole breaking thing, where people can't stop and they go past their means on what they can financially afford. But another addiction aspect that people never touch on is people are really addicted to the value side of the hobby. What I mean by that is nonstop. Just have this tunnel vision focus on, okay, these are what my cards are worth. Today it went up 5%. Up Wednesday it went down 5%. Now it went up 2%. Now it went down 5%.
That's what all of these new card ladders and all this, where you list your cards on their product and it tells you how much your cards are on a day-by-day basis. I never thought at one time in my life that would be a thing. First off, I have 200, probably 300,000 baseball cards, and I don't know if I started listing them on somebody's app, I'll be here till another lifetime. So it doesn't make much sense for me to do that. But man, I wish we were scared with their money, not the stuff I'm into. I just feel like, and that's another thing that's going to interest me at this Nationals, how much money's flowing. I think the high-end guys, because Victor and I were talking about the country club aspect, and I think there is, but that aspect's always been there. But right now, it's being highlighted because that's what people want to watch on YouTube. I don't want to sit there and watch somebody outside of my friend group or somebody that I really, like that has the passion that I want to watch. But I want to watch people that hit higher end stuff than me and things like that, or vintage cards because I don't collect that way. I want to see stuff that I don't see all the time.
You have people getting like really like you could just see they're very stressed out over if they have a card and it undersells on an auction or like a buy it now. Like you could visibly see their blood pressure rising because it undersold or it didn't sell for the amount that they thought it would. Or you hear about some of these fines that are going on, and the instant thing is, oh, it's cool that we now have the opportunity to get these cards. No, it's, oh great, more cards are going to saturate the market and my shit's going to go down.
Right.
It's just like this fear and this paranoia and this addiction to the value instead of like focusing on the cards.
Well, top 5 mantles.
Yeah, even the guys that get some of these big, like some hit bigger cards in the break, all they're doing is looking to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's a flip.
It's nothing they want to collect. They want to buy. They buy stuff they don't really want, just to get rid of it.
Well, how many times have you heard? I've had this card how many times, and I've sold it for other. Now I can imagine. Now I did get a Skeens card back that I had created. I did look at the price on it at a 10, and if it was dumb, homeboy was going to sell it, but it wasn't dumb, so I'll hang on to it. But because I'm not dumb, he's not one of my main guys. As much as I do love Skeens, I think he's a special talent, but I also know he's a pitcher, and if I can bank on him on one card before the National and get something, an older card, or a Babe Ruth, Bowman, or not Babe Ruth, Yogi Berra, Bowman that I really want, then I'm good. Then the world's great. But I feel like we're like Ed said, we're too hung up on value. Even us that don't particularly talk about value, it is still part of it because the market has gone up so much. We're not talking about dollar packs anymore. We're talking about $5 packs. 50. I just held up a box that held, I think, 66 cards for $50. So, yeah, that's value, and that's $50. Yeah, I could have done a lot of other stuff with that $50. But I got this. So, what do you do? And you love the hobby. You're going to figure your way through the hobby, no matter what the pricing is. That's why I don't think it's a clubhouse unless you're one of these people that want to be in that clubhouse collecting what they're collecting. Then you can feel that way for you. But I just feel like most of us, because I think a lot of it is the modern RPA, or you know what I'm saying, the new Johnny come lately guy that they're all chasing after. And then you got your few the vintage cards that we all know is pricey. I mean, Ed just showed, was it a 4 Ed or a 1 that sold for, what was it? $3 million?
About the Mantle?
Yeah.
I think it was golden. I forget what it was.
Was it a 1?
It wasn't a 1, I don't think.
Okay, because I know it was a low one and it sold for a good amount of money. But they're not rare. That's what I don't get.
That's the most flipped card in the hobby.
Yes.
Is the
I don't know about the whole hobby, but I'm sure for vintage.
I mean, we get the tunnel vision on these prospects and stuff, but they're definitely flipped, no doubt, but not in the quantity that the Mixter is.
And you'll see that card go back and forth tables at any show.
Dude, if I ever got a 52 Mantle, I would sell it just to buy so I could buy a 51 Mantle.
I agree.
Were you there a couple of weeks ago? When I got asked, I was like, why because my question was, why the 52 Mantle? What makes the 52 Mantle the card of cards, of any card, the card of cards? And the only thing is, it's because it's the first top. Well, it's not the first top set. There was a 51 set, but we exclude that because it was a playing card set or whatever. For whatever reason, it's a reason. And then, so we have that card. But I'm like, he's not even the best center fielder. He wasn't even the best center fielder in New York. So why that card? And all I can get is
I can see why the Mantle, like Mantle being the most popular. I mean, I can see that, but I don't know. I guess because Topps, maybe because Bowman went away and Topps kept going for all those years since 52. That's probably why. And then Mantle was the most popular player.
But they had Bowman up to 55?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But when you talk about collectors,
right,
that were collecting in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there was no Bowman.
Right.
So it was that Mickey Mantle 52 Topps is their first set. Bowman wasn't as a popular company.
So I would rather have the 51 Mantle because that's a rookie card.
Because I'm a rookie guy.
Yeah. I'm not a rookie guy, but I know the difference between a rookie and a second-year card, first card. Because I remember back in the day, and nobody talks about this. I brought this up to Victor. I've invited him on, so I would like to have this discussion with him about the first card. And you saw that a lot in early 50s.
Now, that would be a great video. You talk about making collaborations at the National for YouTube. A great video would be just to go around the National asking random people, what is Mickey Mantle's rookie card? I guarantee you the overwhelming majority would say the 52 Topps. When it's clearly the 51.
If that happens, I would really be disheartened because I think most people know the difference, but they don't care. The 52 Topps just, for whatever reason, has this mystique about it because it's the first true top. And I still don't think it's the first true top set because there was another top set before it.
With the red backs and the blue backs.
Yeah, so I'm like, every time I hear this, but it's the first Mickey Mantle Topps card. Well, who gives a shit? Because at that time, everybody loved Bowman. So the first Bowman is the 51. So, and I understand what David is saying. So the 60s, it became, I'm sure the whole Bowman channel right over in there, they probably clicked me on. I'm right on their channel. Hi, everybody on Bowman 53. But I think the 52, I think we got sold a bill of goods by somebody long ago. By what was his name, Ed? What was the fella that went around the country telling everybody how and buying them all up? Mr. Mint. And sold us with him and the Beckett and all of them telling us how special this card was and how hard it was because forever it was the hard card to find. Well, then people like Ed started going, well, how's this a hard card to find if I can find it on every table at the show? Because that was the story up until 5-6 years ago. People were talking about it was rare and hard to find, and that's why it was expensive. Well, that went out the window. And then then it came out, what was it? There is more Mantles graded than Mays. So a Mays card is actually harder to find graded. It's just, now you got me started on something that really gets me a little chapped because to me, the reasoning on it, I haven't heard a good reason other than he was the center fielder for the Yankees in 1952. So if Steve Jones was the center fielder for the Yankees in 1952, it would be his card we'd be talking about.
Now we'll probably ask if you find somebody that was collecting cards in the 50s, in 52.
You can ask people.
Was Mantle the most popular card in 1952? But over the years, I'm saying that just kind of got, I think because Bowman went away. I bet you if Bowman had cards with Topps the whole way through the 60s and 70s, the 51 Bowman would be the more popular because it's the rookie. because Bowman went away, and then probably once Beckett comes out, and then they price it higher, in the Beckett magazine back in the day, and that's just how it grows, But I think if Bowman didn't go away, we'd be talking about a different card.
I just feel like you had people in the 60s and 70s, even 80s, had an agenda, and you didn't have the YouTube world. All you had was magazines and word of mouth. So you didn't have people going to all these shows across the country, and you go to your local show and it might only be 152 Mantle there or two. And then, it's so tough to find. Well, then they started having these huge shows, and the YouTube and other things came about, and it's like the forums and all that, and it's not that hard of a card to find as long as you have the money to pay for it. And just the ongoing, it was under a glass case. I have a picture of it. It is my eBay store picture of me standing with the 52 Mickey Mantle, because it is it's the most iconic card ever, and no matter how much I don't agree why it is, so it don't really matter. It just is.
Yeah, well, even the photo itself,
more iconic than the T206 Honus Wagner. I don't know about that.
I do. I think it's more iconic. First off, you want to talk about people that don't know if that's his rookie card. Walk around and ask how many people who Honus Wagner is and what team he played for. And I bet
that'd be another good idea to do.
That would be one that people would look at you and be like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?"
He played for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, that's right.
Who's ever listening, or Scott or Dave, whoever does this video, ask all ages. Don't just ask people under the age of 25. I want you to ask the 40-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, the 50, the 60-year-olds. Ask everyone.
Dude, even so when I grew up, I always thought the 52 was the rookie. Until I really started putting together lists of rookie cards I needed. Then I was like, oh, Mantle has a 51 Bowman. I didn't know about that till later.
Well, the only reason why is because I used to see that FC in the Beckett. And I was like, what the hell is FC? So I looked at their key, first card. And I'm like, why is it a first card and not a rookie? And then somebody was like, oh, maybe they didn't have a rookie card made. This is their first card. Well, no, it came out to be it's the Topps first card because they had
Let's bust out a Beckett real quick, see what's up.
Yeah, they just didn't have the rights to making them. Damn, what year is that? Or is that just an old cover on a new one?
No, that's old. That's 1991.
Yeah, maybe they still have it in there then, FC designation for first cards. And then I know they have XC in that one. I don't know if they have XC in that because
this has the Mickey Mantle, it's DP for double print, FTC first Topps card.
Yeah, so they went. So in the 80s, they used to just say FC. Because I don't think I've ever looked at a Beckett after the 80s.
And I got this other one over here for 53 Bowman color. It has Eddie Matthews 53 Bowman color FBC, so first Bowman card.
Right. So, and it's very interesting when you start looking at that. Total PSA pop on the 51 Bowman is 28.21 and 26 for the 52 Topps. Interesting.
Hey, and this one, I like this. The hot cards for Beckett. Kevin Moss, Todd Van Poppel, number 9 and 10.
Todd Van Poppel.
Alex Fernandez, number 19.
Well, I guess we better be going because Sports Cards Live is going live to tell you the ending live coverage of the Fanatics Weekly sale. So I know everybody's in a rush to go see that. But yeah, thank you guys for coming on, and I know we diverged from my plane was talking about 4 weeks out.
Yeah, we got into some rocky waters on this boat.
Yeah, hey, we hit the motherfucking boat, yo.
These waves are crashing on this boat.
But real question though on this is before you go.
Yeah.
Which card made to the Baseball Card Hall of Fame first from Ray from Philly? The 51 or the 52? And that's seriously not a really serious question. I'm just kind of laughing at it.
Did the 52?
I think
don't
did
know.
they both get in the same time? I'm not
I
sure.
have no idea.
I do like that idea. I like his idea. I think it should be a bigger deal about it. I think it should be bigger than the actual dumbass YouTube Hall of Fame.
Coming from a non-Hall of Famer.
Yeah, if I was a Hall of Famer, screw that. No, but I think that's more of a real thing, and I think we should try to get that out to more than just people on YouTube. But that should be passed out into LCSs and everything else. I think that's a really good idea. But I give Ray that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like I would rather have 51 Bowman. I'd rather have the 52 Mays. I'd rather have I don't know, a lot of other cards, but because to me that 52 Mantle, other than it being a 52 Mantle, and I would take it when somebody. I'm not a dumbass, and if I could afford it, I probably would have it. I don't know if I'd spend 5 figures, but if it came down to some type of like reasonable price, I would get one. But then again, so I'll never have one. But
no, I win the lottery to get one.
And I don't even. And like I said, I do not think I'd pay $10,000 for one. I don't think I would.
For the 52?
Yeah, for 52.
No. I would still buy the 50. You don't win the lottery. The first card I'm buying is the 51. I don't want to say the first card I'm buying, but I'm buying the 51 before I buy the 52.
Okay, I was getting ready to say the first card you would buy would be the 51 Bowman. That's an interesting question, though. If you won the lottery tomorrow, do you know what the first card?
And it wouldn't be a good condition. Even if I was like millions upon millions of dollars, I'm probably still buying like a lower grade one.
I think I know what I would buy. A 75 O-Pee-Chee and a 10 Gary Carter.
Yeah.
Because that damn card would be so hard and so pricey. But that would be my first card on my radar would be the 75 O-Pee-Chee.
Yeah. Gary so if I was buying just cards, I won the lottery. I'm looking for a 51 Mantle, 86 Jordan, and a 33 Ruth, or Garrick, or both. Those would be my first 4 cards I would want to get.
Your first 4?
My second card would be Cap Anson.
Yeah, and throw that fucker in the fire. Where he's already at.
But no, those 4 are my 4. The 4 cards I would want.
Did you say your 4 cards, Scott?
4 cards. I would be 75. I would probably be and please help me on the Bowman year satchel. Would that be?
I got it right here.
49.
I got it right here. Hold on. Just got to go to my rookie card spreadsheet real quick.
Nice plug there.
Thanks, dude. Let's see, 1940s. So where's Satchel at?
Then I'd probably put a bounty on the Pete Alonso Super Refractor Auto 2019.
I can't find this one card.
And then I would.
My 4 would only one would be modern. How crazy is that?
Be what?
Only one would be modern for me. My four.
I would, and probably the fourth one would be. I just love the players that I love, and I mean, it'd probably be something David Wright one of one, or having dinner with David Wright or something. I don't know.
Mine's easy. Cracker Jacks, Grover Cleveland Alexander, Old Pete. Cracker Jacks, Cornelius Mack, Mr. Philadelphia. Then we would go Sealess, Richie Ashburn. And the final one would be the season 2 Rittenhouse Archives Amelia Clark Full Bleed Auto, which is like the grail card for Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, well I didn't know we were doing that on sport. That's not fair.
Satchel Paige had the 48-49 Leaf.
I would want the Jackie Leaf. I would definitely get some Jackie cards. And I mean, if you won a lottery, I wouldn't just get 4. But what would happen is I'd probably just sell most of my collection in a bulk and start pretty much over.
Yeah, 49 Bowman, 48-49 Leaf. Those are the two.
Yeah, the Bowman is the one I want. I could afford it in the last when I bought the tops, the 52 satchel. I could afford it then, and I got the 52 instead. And I was like, oh, I'll get it now. It's kind of out of my price range. It'll have to come down a little bit. But yeah, there's players. I'm just not, man. I like the players I grew up with and watch it. I like the players I watch. The ones I didn't watch, I love the history of it, but they don't. It's not my history.
Like I have a hard time. Like I like collecting some of the modern rookies, right? Mm-hmm. But I have a hard time collecting, like really going after guys that are younger than me.
I've heard that
I've heard that before.
Like I don't mind buying like you know some of the like even like with my football with the Jets, you know I like to get an autograph of the good players now, and I get some rookie cards of them. But I'm always sticking in my range of 1980s, 1990s because those are the guys I watch and those are the cards I grew up wanting to get.
Klecko is going to be signing at the show. You have his auto yet?
Who?
Klecko.
Oh yeah, I got plenty of his. Well, not plenty, but yeah, I got one right here. I think
it's pretty cheap. I was hoping it was going to be a free one.
Yeah, I got it.
I think he's only like $70. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah. I just remember him and Gas and O being together, and they were just fierce.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, you know what? I just thought of another card. I should have said the 1888 Great Generals.
Too late. You can't give it.
I got gas right there too.
You think I'll be able to find any General Sherman at the National this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's non-sports, so
you won't be allowed to look at it. So you get tackled by the vintage guys.
Aren't they going to? Isn't there like a secret police that's going to go around the National, like throwing all those guys out who sell non-sports?
Don't. There's a fire. There's going to be all the Pokemon cards just all of a sudden went up in flames. Who knew how flammable they were? Jesus Christ, man!
I need to find some Pokemons for my daughter while I'm there. Apparently, I've been.
There's not going to be any. There's not going to be any. Not the whole upstairs that they're at is going to be all Pokemon, probably. You got to go.
I have to find some more Elsa and Anna cards like I did last year for her, and I got to find some Pokemon cards for her.
We'll stop at Target and you can.
I mean, that's I'm going to be walking around looking for some Winnies, Winnie the Poohs.
Yeah. And
maybe even some Winnies from what's that? Was the TV show?
Wonder Years?
Huh? No Wonder Years. Yeah, that Winnie as well. So, who knows?
You got to get the Topps Chrome Gold Winnie or the Topps Chrome Black Winnie. They did make those. There's a real card, Scott.
Yeah, as long as it's not horizontal, we're good.
I'll send
Winnie
you a
from
link.
Wonder Years or Winnie the Pooh?
Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
I'll send you a link.
I always looking for Winnies. I sit right beside all my Winnie the Poohs now. Sit right here, look at them.
You got to put Winnie on the sofa.
Hopefully the sofa won't be here much longer. Hopefully it gets the son bitch out of here.
Giving it to the Goodwill?
Nah, guy at work bought it for me. So,
Oh, okay. That's good.
yeah. I said it's only got a few stains. You'll be good.
Add that to the National Fund. Find you a Pete with that couch. Yeah, I like to find a Pete Alonso auto. I only got one.
Yeah, I'm going to end it right here for tonight and kind of running out of steam. And thank you for all everybody that came on tonight. Thank you guys for coming on. Didn't know. I got to figure out what mode of transportation for next week. So if anybody has any thoughts on that, please put it down below. Until then, see ya.
Go Phillies.